Hello, thanks for joining a new video. Today, I have the new Edge 60 series from Motorola. Let's dive in. This time they've launched the Motorola Edge 60 Fusion, Motorola Edge 60 and Motorola Edge 60 Pro. They haven't released an Ultra model yet, perhaps that's coming later this year. These devices share many features, with upgrades leading up to the Pro model, typical of mid-range devices. However, what I wasn't fond of is that the primary camera remains the same across all three devices. But how about we take a more detailed look at them? What do you say we delve deeper into examining them? And now, at the design level, we're going to encounter something truly remarkable, as is typical with Motorola, particularly due to the extensive range of colors available. These colors are quite appealing. In my opinion, in this regard, we discover some of the most beautiful aspects of these devices, not just because they are aesthetically pleasing. The three devices are not only certified with IP68, but they also have IP69 and military certification, which allows them to withstand extremely hostile environments, including very high temperatures, high pressure, and more. In terms of resistance, they are excellent, and aesthetically, they are impressive as well. To the touch, they provide a very pleasant, soft feel. Without a doubt, it stands as one of its most significant strengths. It's important to note that the arrangement of the cameras has been altered compared to what we observed previously. Personally, I prefer the appearance in earlier generations. This new arrangement of 4 identical circles resembles what other brands have offered. In my opinion, Motorola's previous design was more original. However, regardless of how the circles are arranged, it's noteworthy that the design maintains a subtle relief. It's an exceptionally smooth transition when you reach the bump in the cameras. In this way, it provides a really pleasant sensation, and each device offers a unique texture based on the color you select. I must emphasize that this is one of its most appealing features. Regarding the screen, we will notice that all three models have something identical, featuring a 6.7-inch diagonal POLED. This comes with a resolution that Motorola refers to as Super HD, which means it's slightly above Full HD, and it boasts a refresh rate of 120 Hz. That implies that the Fusion has advanced to now incorporate a screen with higher resolution, whereas the Pro model continues to feature a screen quite similar to what we observed in the previous generation. However, the screen has not merely advanced in these aspects, as it will now provide a peak brightness of 4500 nits. Earlier in the Fusion model, we encountered 1500 nits, in the base model, we encountered 1600 nits, and in the Pro model, we encountered 2000 nits. Now all three screens boast 4500 nits, providing an exceptionally good viewing experience. Moreover, all three models are equipped with Gorilla Glass 7 knife for enhanced drop resistance. As with previous generations, Motorola continues to offer stereo sound across all devices. The front camera on the Fusion model remains unchanged, featuring 32 megapixels with an aperture of f2.2. However, with our quad-pixel technology, the pixels will be merged, ensuring that the photos are excellent. 8 megapixels in auto mode. But for the base and Pro models, the front camera is 50 megapixels with f2.0 aperture. Both the Fusion and base models record in 4K at 30 FPS. Naturally, the Pro model also records at that quality, but to record at 60 FPS with the front camera, it's only on the Pro model. For the rear cameras, I had already anticipated you that they use the same sensor in the main camera. The Sony Lithia 700C is a 50 megapixel camera with f-aperture 1.8 and optical stabilization. So here the one that loses out is the Pro model because it previously had aperture f. So we see a step back in the quality of the main camera of this Pro model. Unfortunately, however, we see an improvement in the ultra-wide camera, which will now be 50 megapixels with f2.0 aperture and autofocus. Previously, it was 13 megapixels. The same situation will occur with the Motorola Edge 60, which has enhanced its ultra-wide camera, but still features 13 megapixels for the Motorola Edge 60 Fusion model. Additionally, the third camera for the Motorola Edge 60 Fusion is essentially a 3-in-1 sensor, designed to enhance flicker and similar issues, yet it is not a standalone camera. On the other hand, for both the Motorola Edge 60 and the Edge 60 Pro, the third camera will be a telephoto lens offering 10 megapixels, 3x optical zoom and an f-aperture, 20 point. So, the maximum zoom provided by the Fusion model is clearly not going to be that advanced. The maximum zoom that the Edge 60 and Edge 60 Pro models offer us is up to 50x, which I think is quite exaggerated. However, let's conduct a test at 20x to see how the result turns out. It's evident that it won't be a zoom specialist, but honestly, it seems to make enhancements through artificial intelligence to achieve a better result. When it comes to video recording capabilities, All three devices are able to record in 4K at up to 30 frames per second, or alternatively, in Full HD at 60 frames per second. They don't appear to be particularly advanced in this aspect. However, it's worth mentioning that the ultra-wide camera does have the capability to record in 4K as well. It allows you to switch between cameras while you are actively recording, though this feature is exclusively available on the Pro model. On the Edge 60, it's important to note that you can't switch cameras once you've started recording. In the processors, we will obviously find differences. Both in Edge 60 Fusion and Edge 60, we will find the MediaTek Dimensity 7300. Although it must be said that for the Fusion model, in some markets will arrive with the MediaTek Dimensity 7400. Previously, we saw different processors between these two. The Fusion had the Snapdragon 7S Gen 2 and the Edge 50 had the Snapdragon 7 Gen 1. Now we see a strategy of the same processor in both devices. Meanwhile, the Pro model upgrades to a MediaTek Dimensity 8350 Extreme, replacing the previous Snapdragon 7 Gen 3. All models come with either 8 or 12 gigabytes of LPDDR4 times RAM, and there's an optional RAM boost feature from Motorola, which I don't highly recommend, but it's available. Additionally, all three models offer 256 or 512 gigabytes of storage. The battery capacity is 5,200 mAh for the version available in Mexico, applicable to both Edge 60 Fusion models. Regarding Edge 60, it's important to note that there are certain regions where it will be available with a 5,500 mAh battery. In any scenario, we observe an evolution since previously the batteries were 5,000 mAh. However, the true advancement is evident in the Pro model, which now features a 6,000 mAh battery. It has been highlighted as the #1 DxO mark in 2025 tests, indicating that the battery in this Pro model is definitely promising. However, when we look at the charging section, we notice some interesting details. The Edge model still holds on to its 68 watts, which is consistent. Meanwhile, the base model also features 68 watts, but it has unfortunately lost the wireless charging capability that was available in the previous generation, which is a notable change. On the other hand, the Pro model has seen a reduction in its power capacity. It used to support 125 watts, but now it only supports 90 watts. In my opinion, this isn't a very significant loss, especially when considering that the maximum power of chargers is rarely fully utilized. Therefore, the overall impact should still be quite positive. Keep in mind that there are occasions when the charger power aligns with the battery capacity. They have considerably enhanced the battery capacity, necessitating a reduction in charging power, which isn't necessarily a drawback. Additionally, the power of the wireless charging has been decreased. It's now at 15 watts, whereas it used to be 50%. In this scenario, it also lacks reverse wireless charging capabilities, offering only reverse wire charging instead. Additionally, all three models include a 4-curve screen design, which is typically seen only in high-end devices, making it one of the main attractions in terms of design. Moreover, at the software level, Motorola mentions that it comes with Android 15. Unfortunately, they haven't shared any update policy with promised years or anything similar, so in that regard, we need to wait a bit longer for more information. However, one particularly good thing is that starting from the Fusion model, moving through the base and going up to the process, we will discover Moto available. This is something they introduced with the new foldables, but it will also be available here. For instance, we will encounter various actions such as Catch Me Up, which will summarize notifications and suggest actions on those notifications. Although currently it appears to have limited compatibility with applications, nevertheless, we will see a little bit more. We will find out if any others are included later on. Additionally, it features Playlist Studio, which provides us with an Amazon service that enables the creation of a playlist from a text prompt you provide. Moreover, there are various other customization tools available to learn about your activities, and it also includes the Remember This function. This function allows you to add a note to your screenshot or simply dictate something significant, and the device will remind you of each time you have taken a screenshot. The device is versatile for use as needed. It includes the Pay Attention feature, enabling voice recording mode for real-time transcription and later summaries. At this price point, you'll find these unique features that are often absent in other brands, making it a definite advantage for this model and higher ones. Before we say our goodbyes, it's important to discuss the pricing details. The Edge 60 Fusion will be the most affordable option, although it won't be as inexpensive as the prices Motorola offered last year. This model will be introduced at a price of 8,999 pesos and will be available in a selection of blue, pink, and green colors. As for the Motorola Edge 60, which serves as the base model, it will debut in Mexico with a price tag of 11,999 pesos. This model will also be available in blue and green colors, and you can find it in Motorola's retail stores. The truth is, it seems to me that they have indeed gone up in price compared to the last generation, although I can't say for certain I believe so. Actually, the Pro model still doesn't have a launch price here in Mexico, but please stay tuned. and I will keep you updated about it. I think it's quite normal to observe this trend in prices during these times we're living in with tariffs and all these factors. So let's also wait and see how it compares with future launches and their contextual prices. But we'll catch up with you later. But as you can see, we're moving quickly here, trying to record as much content as possible. Time is a bit limited, so I can't share every single detail about these devices just yet. However, remember that soon we will have an incredibly detailed unboxing and review, so you will be able to learn absolutely everything about them. For now, this has been a brief glimpse of our initial impressions. Let me know your opinion in the comments, because personally I would have liked to see in the Pro model a slightly more advanced main camera, but, well, these are things that we see in all mid-range, sacrifice in some things, improve in others, but what interests me most is to know your opinion in the comments. For now, we have reached the end of this video. If you liked it, you know you can tell us, and we'll see you next time.